Hello my darlings, it's my first video back in my dorm, and today we will be talking about Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Sadly, this is not my copy. As you can see, it is a school copy because I don't have money for books right now, and I have enough as is. If I could show you my little library, I could, but I don't want to mess up my setup right now. That being said, I did read this over winter break. I actually read it in a day on Christmas Eve, sitting on my grandmother's couch, because once I started, I could not stop. It's a really, and I know I say this about a lot of books, but I tend to only finish things I like to read. It's something very sweet and warm and funny. One of the reviews on the back, this top one even says, "Are we absolutely certain that Becky Albertalli didn't just steal the diary of a hilariously observant teenage boy? Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda is a pitch-perfect triumph of wit and wordplay that feels timelessly, effortlessly now." As I'm trying to get books with more perspectives in my diet, I picked this up, especially after I saw the movie trailer for the adaptation of this called Love, Simon. I don't know why they didn't keep the full title. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but it's like so quirky and cute that it kind of gets down, not kind of, it definitely gets down to the attitude that this book has and the feel it gave me. And from the first page, which literally starts with Martin blackmailing Simon, I was like, oh no, I'm here for this poor kid. He just wants to be left alone and be happy. And it's like, I just want to shake everybody in this book and like, please leave this kid alone. Let him be happy, let him do what he wants to do. But I digress. What I liked most about this book, and this is coming from somebody who, yes, is straight and again, intentionally trying to read other perspectives, I liked how the details were very specific, and I simultaneously had this feeling of I both completely understand where you're coming from and have no idea. And it was nice for me as a person, because this is what I read books for, to get in somebody else's head and live their life for a while. And I felt like I was living Simon's life. So on top of Simon emailing this guy Blue and trying to figure out who he is because he figures he's a classmate, there's this whole crazy, it's like a love square, and it's like not as complicated as I'm about to make it sound. It makes sense when you read it. But the whole reason Martin starts blackmailing Simon is because there's this new girl named Abby who's now part of Simon's friend group, made up of Simon himself and his friends Nick and Leah. Well, Leah likes Nick, but Nick and Abby like each other and are kind of dancing around each other the first few chapters of the book, and then Martin likes Abby as well, so he finds out about Simon's emails to Blue and tells him, either you help me hook up with Abby or I out you to the entire school. Which, even after he apologized to Simon, I'm like, Martin's not a traditional bully in the sense that he, beats Simon up and takes his lunch money. For all intents and purposes, if you met this guy on the street and just didn't know, he would seem like, kind of a dork, but a well-meaning kid. But I found it so hard to feel sorry for him, because I'm like, you're taking someone's biggest secret, and I feel like this was kind of Miss Albertalli's point. You're taking somebody's biggest secret that could potentially have catastrophic consequences for them. This is a small town in Georgia, no less. I didn't mention that before, but this takes place in a small town in Georgia. In small towns in Georgia, if you didn't know, it's kind of hard to be gay. And I'm just like, I get it. You like this girl, and I was 16 once. It feels like life and death. I say like I'm 32 and not 22, but oh well. But you're taking something very personal and scary for this guy. Like, Simon hasn't even told his family at the beginning of the book. And it makes me sad because I realize that this happens all the time, and I didn't want to feel sorry for this kid. I get you like somebody that might not like you back, but that's no reason to hurt somebody that badly. Other than Martin, I did like all the other characters though. Simon, of course, is my favorite because he's a sweet kid and he's just trying to get through high school, man. It's all he wants. And it helps that, he's a theater kid. They're doing Oliver Twist, which this is the second book I've read where a high school's doing Oliver Twist. And I'm like, when did that become the musical that everyone knows? I just didn't expect that. Nick, for as little as you see him is a good friend to Simon, very supportive. After Martin, the next character I kind of really struggled with was Leah, only because at her age I was kind of in a similar place and it's not a place I'm proud of now. So I struggled with her, but more than Martin, I definitely understood where she was coming from, and so I was willing to give her more grace because I was like, okay, you really like Nick and he likes someone else and I get it. But what I liked about Leah is that she took that kind of negative experience and channeled it into something else that comes to fruition at the end of the book. And I was like, okay, good. You did the thing I didn't do and you made the better choice than I did. So I was more okay with her character arc. Abby I loved because I kind of strive to be an Abby in my life, and so I'm like, no, I get you. And she was the new girl and I was kind of the new girl here last year. So overall, as you can tell, I really enjoyed it. The best word I can think of to describe this book in particular about this subject is heartwarming. It is heartwarming to watch this boy try to learn and grow and become better and more comfortable with who he is, because high school's hard enough with struggling with who you are. Heck, I'm about to be done with college and I'm still kind of struggling with that. But he just has this extra thing he has to come to terms with. And Miss Albertalli wrote it beautifully and with enough finesse that even me, who's still really growing out of her ignorance, is like, okay, now I understand. Or at least I'm starting to. So now what about you? You know me, I'm always looking for reading material. I might not be able to get to it right away, but I will try my best. It's just the semester is going to be very busy and very difficult, but I will do the best that I can do to get to whatever books, and if not, I'll try to get to them this summer. But I love hearing from you guys. I love knowing what people are reading and what interests them. That's why I keep doing these videos. Honestly, my darlings, no matter what creed you come from, I'm very grateful to you, and I hope you have a nice day.